Harry's Wife, Part 101.98, Uvalde Disgrace. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You may recall from parts passing, as a consequence of the tragic events that took place at Uvalde, where a school teacher and several children were gunned down, Harry's wife, of course, made an appearance, sliding in like some ghoul. She appeared with apparent gifts to be provided to those that were dealing with the responding support for the community having been affected by this tragedy, and of course being photographed and filmed as she strolled amongst the memorial that had sprung up. This roundly received criticism. I've dissected why she behaved as she did in parts passing, but it would seem that more information comes to light about her attendance at that tragedy and the immediate aftermath that requires further scrutiny and observation. The information that has come my way appears on a Reddit thread, and therefore, of course, I invite you to weigh that in your mind when making a determination about the veracity of this material. It also appears on a thread that's called St. Harry's Wife, albeit using her usual name, the one that I don't use. And again, that will give you a flavour for the approach with regard to this material. The post states about that Uvalde visit, and the individual writes as follows. I was visiting recently with one of the other nurses who also went to Uvalde, Texas, following the school shootings. We talked about our experiences in light of the tragedy and in the midst of all the raw grief, how the Harry's Wife circus came to town. I read a BuzzFeed sycophantic article about how Harry's wife selflessly went in and helped Uvalde, assertion of control, drawing a fuel facade management, fake cognitive empathy. I guess Sunshine Sachs penned that work of fiction as a PR news release. About the only thing true in that article is Uvalde was Markled. I was busy staffing a shift at Uvalde Memorial Hospital on May 27th when I heard the narcissist of Monty Shit Show came in with her bodyguard, photographer, and the Netflix crew. Now, first of all, turning up at the hospital when she wasn't invited, when she has no connection to the people that have been involved in this tragedy, shows a lack of boundary recognition and a sense of entitlement. Furthermore, the fact that she turns up with a bodyguard, photographer, and the Netflix crew shows a complete absence of emotional empathy, a lack of boundary recognition again, her sense of entitlement to be filming a tragedy for content, and a lack of accountability for her behaviours. The posting continues as follows. Word travelled quickly that this royal visitor only wanted to help the hurt children by taking photos with them. Oh, and a few videos. It wouldn't take long. Again, an absence of emotional empathy, thinking that it is appropriate to turn up to take content when children have been put through a traumatic event of being wounded, possibly seeing their class colleagues, their classmates being shot. And of course, who turns up? Harry's wife. Just want some photos and some footage. Never mind the fact that you're injured or traumatised. This is all about the content that I need. Sums her up. The posting continues. What Harry's wife didn't plan on, when she decided to Markle the children and families of Uvalde, is that Texans, unlike her spineless spouse, have no problems telling her no. The Texas Highway Patrol, providing security at the hospital, escorted Harry's wife and her troop out, with the suggestion that if she wanted to help, go donate blood, with directions to the senior centre. Thus her attempts to gain content at the hospital were thwarted. Onward, the circus went to Robb Elementary, so photos could be taken of Harry's wife in mourning. Fake empathy, facade management, triangulation. Uvalde is a small community, the poster writes, with a strong sense of family. So here she was, in the midst of the most horrific thing that could ever happen, an ego profiteer. She got her photos. She markled them. Then it was on to the Herbie Ham Senior Centre, so she could help. Of course, she wasn't about to donate blood. What Harry's wife needed was more photos. Why not make it seem as if she bought a boundless cornucopia of food? When in reality, there were no trays of sandwiches from H-E-B, just 3 small vending machine sandwiches that were tossed out. The drinks and chips were all courtesy of South Texas Blood for their donors. I know, I get the Doritos nacho cheese. So while Uvalde got markled, at least Harry's wife didn't manage to get selfies with injured and traumatised children and parents. For that, we nurses are thankful. So, of course, she therefore, from an eyewitness, or at least a purported eyewitness, explains that she turns up at the senior centre, supposedly making out thereafter that she handed out lots of food, which is, according to this version of events, a lie, and that she has leveraged this tragedy not only by turning up in the first place, by seeking to get photographs with traumatised children, turning up at the school, and then going on to the senior centre, where she doesn't bother to donate blood. She then makes up, in essence, that she provided a feast of food, when in actual fact that she didn't. And she showed asset appropriation by claiming that the drinks and chips that were donated by her actually were not. What are some of the thoughts with regard to this? I'm sure you have your own that you will share with me in the comments. God damn it, Woodhouse writes, after everything, I still think this is the worst thing she's ever done. How do you hear of innocent children being slaughtered, and your first thought is, how can I make money from this? You can try answers agreed, and the stupidest thing Netflix has ever done after deciding to work with her. Tooththerm2948. She was trying to do fake royaling. After the Manchester bombing, royals were quickly up to Manchester to visit the scene and meet people in hospitals and attend vigils and memorials, etc. Same with the 7th of July bombings in London and other large-scale tragedies. I'm glad she was told to piss off, because why would you want to inflict more trauma on those poor kids for a Netflix drama? Well, of course, she has no emotional empathy. You did her a favour, as if she dared to include stuff like that in her historical documentary, she'd have been cancelled for sure pretty quickly. GlassAd2469 writes, literally on the blood of a child massacre. Thank you, original poster, for giving us the real information. And as for Netflix, if there's anything about this, Visit My Family will be cancelling our subscriptions. French kids. As a Texan, I was totally appalled that this moron would come to my state and use dead children and grieving parents as a photo op. OMG, do not get me started. Keep your flipping sandwiches, Harry's wife. Valuable Efficiency 23. Absolutely. I've seen various sugars say this was it for them. I mean, some tried to spin it, but there's not much chance of making this look good. Zulu Magoo, or how can I make this about me? The Medusa 2, it's shameful and offensive. Whovible. By being a complete sociopath, LOL, I hate to say, but she's the rare combination of narcissism, intelligence and sociopathy. Well, actually she's not. She's a narcissist. As I've explained in parts past, she's not a sociopath and she's not particularly intelligent. Whovible continues, truly the definition of a piece of work. He was always strategizing in service to themselves and themselves alone. Again, she isn't strategizing, as her behaviour demonstrates over and over again. Travel Jellyfish states, this is like the $5 to Archwell she tried to get underprivileged youth to donate after she gifted them rotten organic veggies, or the time she took advantage of the Rwandan kids for a photo op and fake essay. Lens Goggler. So basically she didn't even donate the food, except the couple of vending machine sandwiches. Is she that broke or that cynical? The Binge Girl. Neither one of them are willing to spend money on anything but themselves. Anyone but themselves. She even downgraded Harry to J.Crew suits. Nefariousness 307. This is horrific. I thought the banana story was bad, but this is just shameful. Take your Hollywood back to where it came from, and thank you, nurse, for being there. Crinkle Cut Cat. I hope we never forget that woman tried to make people's real grief a photo opportunity for herself. Disgusting. Fit not fact. Well, she did so out of Britain and the royal family at the Queen's funeral. Accomplished RIP 743. Oh my word, seriously. Fuck you, Harry's wife. I officially kick you out of America. You're out. No more you here. Done. You're literally no one from nowhere. West Texas Gecko Chic. My best friend's aunt is also a nurse in Uvalde. She's supposedly the director of the ER. My BFF was in Uvalde when this happened. She was a bartender at a local pizza joint. She's completely broken over this. I have not wanted to get all the tea on Harry's wife's time there, but she's not even close to being able to talk about it. She does, however, reflect the same thoughts about the sense of family everyone has there. She didn't expect what she got told, that's for sure. Thank you for going and helping them. Feisty nurse. Doing the assignment in Uvalde left a lasting and, dare I say, perpetual sadness for the community. There are never the right words to say in a situation like this. As a nurse, you become a good listener for the outpouring of emotions people share with you. You respect their confidence and carry their comments and sharing of grief with you. I also understand curiosity when an accident or homicide occurs. It's natural to ask what happened when a sudden death occurs. But what I found so repulsive with Harry's wife going to Uvalde was the exploitation of a horrific tragedy for her self-gratification. A means to try to elevate her shitty standing by getting video proof of how pious she is by spending less than $20 for content for her multi-million Netflix contract. Harry's wife could not be bothered to donate cash to those who needed the help. Hell no. She was there to get her money shots and hop back on her borrowed jet with her entourage and not look back at the live she interrupted. There's no level in hell low enough. Bambolina. She's a twat. Honestly, this shit needs plastering on billboards. What an utterly despicable human. This really is up there with the worst things she has done. Bunny Friday. Helped the unmitigated gall of this woman. This stunt still makes my blood boil. The scene was still being investigated. It was scarcely 24 hours and she decided to gallivant only to make herself look better. Sunshine Sack should have dumped her at that moment. There's no way any reputable PR agency would think, yes, Harry's wife, brilliant idea. This had Rachel at Hotmail written all over it. No one was there as fast as she was, like she was wanted some ghoulish first. It was reprehensible. Mia Calisian states this could have been a significant part of the reason why she was dumped by Sunshine Sacks. It seems very unlikely that they would have approved this stunt. On and on go the comments, all lambasting her for this behaviour. At least 300 or so comments in a similar vein. Assuming the information provided in the nurse is accurate, and there's no reason to think that it's not, this just not only repeats the behaviour itself of turning up at Uvalde, but emphasises rather the absence of emotional empathy, boundary transgressions, sense of entitlement and lack of accountability for the behaviour. Of course, this just appears on a message board on Reddit, which of course is seen by many, but whether the wider world knows the truth of what was actually going on remains to be seen. But of course, to those of you that understand Harry's wife and her narcissism, it comes as no surprise. I'm H.D. Tudor. Thank you for listening.